Good boy, Tucker.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome.
Work smarter where you want.
Consistency is key.
And remember, if it's not in Redtail, it never happened.
This is learning at its most fun.
So, our next section up is searching made simple. Honestly, I love this section. What this whole presentation series has sort of helped the training team with is think about new ways to present items. And searching is one of those things that can seem like it gets out of hand. You're not sure how to narrow down or build up your searches to get the exact group you want. And so Catherine and I worked together to figure out what are some of the basic rules and just ideas that you need to have in regards to make searching simpler. All right, so with that, topics we're covering, we're going to talk about order of adjectives. What does that have to do with searching? Well, you will find out. We're going to cover advanced search. We're going to talk about quick lists. And then we're going to talk about some uncommon searches. This actual topic only came into play when I actually had a one-on-one with this group. And I forget her name, but she said, I'd really love to see you guys do an actual presentation on uncommon searches. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? That's absolutely right, because all we normally do for training is say, here's the most commonly things search, which is good information, but how can we think about it differently and help our users to really learn searching so they can find whatever they need? So to start us off, we got me and Catherine here. I want to ask a question, and I want you guys to answer this question too into the chat, not into Q&A, answer into chat. What's the last thing you searched for and couldn't find? Catherine, what's the last thing you tried to find and couldn't?
You're going to judge me for this so much. But my Apple Watch, I have no idea where it is.
Oh.
I mean, to be fair, it stopped working on me back in February, so that should have prepared me for the year, honestly. But I put it aside, and now I don't remember where aside is.
Oh, well, for a little backstory, Catherine was the only trainer for a little bit who still had an Android phone, and the rest of us had iPhones, and we all attacked her enough to where she finally switched over and got an iPhone and got an Apple Watch. And you lost it, but that's unfortunate. I hope you do find it. We got, a cat lost diamond earrings. David lost a sock. I lose socks all the time. My story is last thing I lost. This is even worse, Catherine, than yours. I have to apply for my driver's license, but I need to get the real ID. And to get all this information, you need certain things like a social security card. Things to prove that I set my social security card aside in a safe place for keeping along with the title of my car. Because I said, I'm going to put these here because I know I won't lose them. And I can't find them. I know I put them in a folder somewhere, and I know that it's safe, but it's so safe that I can't even find it. So the title of my car and my social security card are somewhere. So
I will say you take definitely the title on that one, because you're right, that's pretty bad. But you know what's sad is that Kat also just put in the chat she just found her security card too. So maybe this good mojo will wear off, and then you'll find yours today.
I'm taking that, and I'm gonna find it today, hopefully. So with that, I first want to talk about order of adjectives. And order of adjectives, I am not an English major by any means. I just saw this idea and I thought it'd be a great way to bring this up. And we got some cute puppies on the page. But what is the order of adjectives? It is actually how we describe things. It's sort of like this unwritten rule where you say things in a certain order depending on what the adjective is. And the order is quantity or number, quality or opinion, size, age, shape, color, proper noun, purpose or qualifier. This is something that's just sort of built into us naturally, that when we describe something and we use multiple adjectives, we say it in this particular way. Because if you change the order, then all of a sudden it doesn't sound right. It's not wrong, but it doesn't sound right. Okay, so to show this further, we're not going to use all of I'm not going to do a whole list of adjectives, but with this, how are we going to describe these puppies? There's two ways. And we give you the option of, is it either the 4 cute large puppies or the large cute 4 puppies? We can see that one sounds correctly and this one doesn't sound right. And actually the second one itself, really the answer here is we are going to say the 4 cute large puppies, because in the order of adjectives, we got the number, the quantity or number goes first, then the quality or opinion, cute, and then the size, large. So we're going in that order, 4 cute large. We got number, opinion, size. We say it. If you change the order of those adjectives, it's technically still right, but it doesn't feel right. And that's the whole thing about with searching is building a search. You want to make it feel right, so it makes sense when you're building it out. And what I mean by that is there's an order of searchable fields. And this is just to keep things easier. Think of searching like a funnel. Okay, so the search order, you're gonna start really general, like contact status, narrow it down to contact category, then narrow it down to a specific keyword or other specific fields to narrow down and get your group of contacts. You know, you can build your searching starting with keyword, then status, then category, but it's just mentally easier to visualize it in this kind of order. Okay, so very much like the order of adjectives where you have to say things in a particular way, even if you do it out of order, it's not wrong, but it makes it easier to do it in this type of order. So again, normally think high level first and then narrow down for the different fields when you're building out your search. So we have 2 examples of some common searches that we want to talk about first. First one is going to be where we're narrowing it down to a status and a category. Honestly, I think these are probably the 2 most common searchable fields that we have, status and category, because status is for high level. It's going to tell you, why is this contact record in my database? In fact, we get people asking questions all the time is, why do I need to have the employer of a contact in my database? Why do I need to have the spouse in? Why do I need to have the children in? The CRM stands for contact relationship management, not client relationship management. You have more contacts than just your clients, because that's how you maintain all of these different relationships. You know, so status is high level. It tells you why they're in your database. Are they an active client? Are they inactive? Are they a prospect? Is it an employer? Is it a business? Is it something else? And so that's where we're going to start. Now, technically, there is a higher, more general field referred to as contact type. That list is not customizable. It tells you what kind of contact. It's either individual, association, business, union, or trust. Okay, but the contact status is the highest level of segmentation that you can customize. So the most common one here, again, is contact status equal to, and again, we have 4 dropdowns: type, field, operand, value is how we have these set up. We're going to look for active AAA clients. So to do that, let's actually switch over to the CRM. All right, we're in here. We are going to run a search. We're going to do so by going to contacts on the left-hand side. And then again, well, like we talked about in section 1, when you click contacts, you can have a preference that takes you directly to advanced search. If it does not, make sure you click on advanced search up at the top, but it has where I can work on type, field, operand, value. And going back over to the CRM, or sorry, to the presentation, these same options: contact status equal to active client. The operand is really useful because it's going to tell how the search is going to work. If I'm narrowing it down to the type of contact in the field of status, am I looking for equal to, less than, greater than, not equal to? It's saying, how is this search actually going to function? Okay, so back over here, let's actually fill this out. We're going to choose the type of contact. The field is going to be status. Operand is equal to, you'll see there's a whole list. Again, like, not equal to, less than or equal to. The most common used one here is equal to, and the value shows my available statuses. I'm going to choose active client. Now, I had another layer in this slide where it said contact category equal to AAA. That's what I'm actually going to hit on the right-hand side. I'm going to select and this is where that funnel starts. So contact status, contact category. It narrows it down. You can even see it also indents over. It's like a funnel. Okay, so again, contact as the type. The field is going to be category. Our operand is going to be equal to again. And this time, what is the category? I can choose AAA. Now, easy enough. I can just hit run, and it runs that search for me. So I'm going to see I have 29 active AAA clients. All right, this is my top clients right here because I have them listed as AAA.
Now, I do want to actually point out here really quick that the value itself, yours might be different than ours. So this is coming back to that whole managed database list and having those admin rights. You might not use AAA. You might have like an ABCD or platinum, gold, silver. That's okay. What that whole concept is to segment your business. So even if you are running the same exact search on your own screen right now, just remember it doesn't necessarily have to be verbatim of what you're seeing here.
Exactly. Anytime we say it's a customizable list, most likely it's going to be different than we have. Thank you for bringing that up, Catherine. Yes. So again, that's one of the most common searches. Catherine, why don't you tell us a little bit about the next search that we have here?
Yes, so the next search is similar in concept with that first layer here. So we still have that contact status equal to active client. Because again, coming back to what Curtis is saying is that's the highest customizable layer we can really get. So it's easily the most popular question we get though is, how do I find all my active clients? With that sentence right there, contact status equal to active client. Now something else, and this always again depends on how you do your own business, of course, but something that might be useful is contact date of birth month equal to October. Now I'm going to be shameless here and say that there happens to be 2 people with October birthdays.
Do they have October birthdays? Catherine, do they happen to be this week as well?
They do actually. So shameless plug. Curtis and I both have birthdays at the end of this week. So mine is on Thursday, his is on Friday. But we also love when people send us happy birthday. So whether that's an email, a physical card, however we want to receive it, we just want to receive something. We can run this search to say contact status equal to active client and contact date of birth month equal to October. So if that is something that you want to do, you want to reach out to those clients, especially right now during this time when we are still kind of scattered about and human social interactions a little limited still, getting just even something in the mail or in your email where like, they didn't forget about me. It's really exciting to get that. So again, contact status equal to active client, and then contact, and we'll pick our field of date of birth month.
And also with date of birth, you can choose DOB. If you choose date of birth, keep in mind, equal to, unless you're looking just for one specific day, but also like this is going to look for the year. Like you have to know what year they were born. Equal to for just date of birth is not the best way to go. This is normally when you'll say something like greater than or less than. But for this particular one, choose date of birth month. So it's not worrying about what year they were born, what day they were born. We're just focusing on what month were they born in. And that really makes this a huge report, a really valuable report or search to run. And so we're choosing October here, is that right? And we'll run this. So all of our active status contacts who have a birthday in October, we can pull that up. Unfortunately, Catherine and I are not in this database, so we don't get to celebrate that right now, but that's okay. We got to add ourselves.
We do have participants who did just wish us happy birthday, so thank you to those. And I will also say happy birthday to Martha, because she has the same birthday as you.
Yes, Martha, yes, happy birthday to us on Friday. I'm taking the day off. It's going to be fun. Catherine, I think we're making her do a webinar, I think, on her birthday.
No, actually, it's next week. We're okay.
Never mind that. Okay, so thank you to those as we stretch and ask for those birthday requests. But in the searching, so we see I did here is status active, the date of birth month equal to October. This is normally something you'd want to do at the beginning of the month or maybe at the end of the month for the next month in line. Okay, so in this case, honestly, we can actually say, okay, let's pull up November birthdays. Let's run that search because I now want to see all of the November birthdays. There's only 3. Oh, Tucker was born in November. We got right there. So one thing for the date of birth that I want to show as well, this is outside of searching, but when you run a search, you can select all those contacts, go to the right, choose contact options, and then under this, you're going to choose reports. And then under the reports drop down, it actually will say the very first option will say birthday report. And what I love here is actually it's download a PDF that actually has all the selected contacts in birthday order. So if you have like 20 contact records that have a birthday in that month itself, this PDF that downloads will show, okay, whoever has a birthday on the 1st or 2nd in the order and bring them up. It's actually a really great report to run. And so it actually says what age are they turning. It actually, if they have a primary address, who their servicing advisor is. So this is a sheet you can say, if you're handwriting birthday cards, which I love to see so many of our users continue to do handwritten birthday cards because it's more personable. It builds on that relationship. This is a great report to run from the search page for that aspect.
Now, one thing to also keep in mind is if you have something, because there's also birthday reminders. And I know there's some people out there who don't like to celebrate their birthdays like Curtis and I, or they might have like religious reasons behind it. There is also a way to go off of that birthday reminder is enabled search. So it's just a slightly different search, but it's along those same lines. Feel free to use that instead or along those same lines. So that way we can get really only those core contacts we want to reach out to.
Definitely. Awesome. And so what she was saying, you can add in where you say the contact and then the field is date of birth reminder. So again, if it's turned off and you don't want them as part of the report, you don't have to, but it's going to be DOB reminder and it'll just be equal to, and the value is just true. So that way, if someone has turned off their birthday reminder, they're not going to populate. Perfect. Okay. So, oh, there we go. I was clicking around too much, but let's go back over to the presentation here and let's move forward a little bit. Let's talk different layers of searching. Okay, so we've just talked about using the AND function. Okay, so what is really the difference between and or? Okay, that's always a weird sentence, and or saying and or. That's just saying the same thing over and over. There is a difference, and it actually makes a big deal depending on how you're using these two buttons. And is going to narrow down the search results when you're picking a single value for each field. Okay, so if I'm doing status, category, keyword, I'm going to hit and. Or lets you add additional values for repeating fields. And that's when I need to say, so the example we have up on the screen is I want to see any active status with the category of AAA or AA and the keyword of newsletter. So I'm actually going to do two different funnels. We're taking the funnel idea back into consideration here, where and is the funnel. So status equal to active, category equal to AAA, and the keyword equal to newsletter. Then or is going to start a new funnel. So status equal to active, category equal to AA, we're changing the field, and then keyword equal to newsletter. The reason I have to repeat those fields is if I just chose status, category, keyword, then hit or and added another category, it's going to give me every active AAA newsletter client with the addition of just every single person who has the category of AA. But I need to make sure that it's also active AA newsletter clients. And so you're going to use the or, and it's resetting, and you're starting from scratch to build another funnel. So an or is the value of one field, or the value of one funnel plus the value of another funnel. It's sort of like the equation there. So building this one out, anytime you run a search, I highly suggest just hit advanced search up at the top to refresh the page, just to make sure you're starting from scratch. But we're going to say up at the top, we're going to do contact status. Okay, the high level here, we're starting high level in our first funnel, equal to active. And then we're going to do contact category. And again, the contact category is going to be equal to, and we're going to choose two different values, but we're just going to be starting with one value for now, AAA. I don't ever want to hit and then do contact. I'm going to do it wrong. So what I'm doing right now is wrong. Okay, I'm pointing that out. Contact category equal to AA. The reason hitting and this is wrong is because no contact can be both AAA and AA at the same time, because this is a contact search. It's looking for what contact is an active double and AAA client. Well, no contact is. It's impossible for somebody to have two different categories. So instead of contact category, I'm actually going to change this over to contact keyword is equal to newsletter. I got mailing newsletter here. So that's our keyword. That's our first funnel. Then I'm going to hit or in the top right and go to my next funnel, which is going to be starting at the top again, contact status, high level, equal to active client. And then hit and. You'll see there's a new and an or over here, okay? I don't want to hit and up at the top. I want to hit it on the line here. You'll also notice there's a thin line between these. It's separating the funnels that we're creating. So I hit and again. I can even hit and twice so it fills those out, ready to go, because I'm going to do contact category. And then that's going to be equal to, this time, AA. Okay, so the reason I had to do another layer is because I have AAA up here and AA down here. Then lastly, I'm going to do contact keyword one more time, where this is going to be equal to the keyword of mailing dash newsletter. Okay, one trick I want to point out with searching, all these drop-down lists are in alphabetical order. If the list is really long, use your keyboard. You can type in part of the word and it'll go directly to it, okay? So just a trick, you can type in when you clicked on that field to find what you're looking for a little bit faster. I'm in the database so much, I go pretty fast through searching. Your muscle memory will kick in after a while. There's gonna be common searches that you run over and over. It's gonna get faster. Don't worry, we're gonna show you a way to make this even quicker in a little bit here. But back to here, our search is all active AAA or AA clients with a keyword of newsletter. And I can hit run. And again, it's giving me the value of both of those searches, both funnels, and adding them together. And it looks like I only have 2 clients. 2 clients in all that searching. Totally fine. That's okay. But they're both active. One of them's AA, one of them's AAA. And they both have the keyword of mailing newsletter. So it actually gives me a lot of information. Maybe everyone opted out of my newsletter. Everybody else did. Oh, well, but that's fine. I can control that information.
Exactly. And just to reiterate, because it is something that we see frequently, remember to use those or and ands before you panic and say like, oh my gosh, it's broken. Because there are times where we just maybe move too quickly and don't realize we clicked the wrong one and we're just, again, kind of out of it. If you run a search that is like contact status equal to active client and you use the and then you put contact status equal to prospect and you get 0 results, again, don't immediately assume that, oh, it's broken or oops, all my data is wrong. It's actually just the equation itself. So make sure you're kind of reading it exactly what Curtis is saying is there's 2 different funnels. To get kind of like in the spirit, think of it as you're building your candy dish for Halloween. You've got 1 bag of chocolates, 1 bag of chocolates. Milky Ways and Snickers are kind of the same thing. They both have chocolate.
They are not the same thing.
There's peanuts, and that's pretty much it. So that one difference, though, is that category. One happens to have that extra ingredient. The other one doesn't. They're 2 separate items. I might like one, but not the other, but they're 2 separate things, but a lot of it's still very similar. But again, you have to still build them out as 2 separate bags to put them all in the same bowl. That's how you should kind of approach with these kind of filtering options. There are 2 kind of searches just in one little box.
I feel not enough, you know, what is it? Excitement goes towards Milky Ways.
It's true.
Or even 3 Musketeers. Honestly, 3 Musketeers are probably one of my favorites.
Oh no, I'd still take the Snickers over that. But before we get into that whole heated debate, because I know you said,
continue on searching. So one thing I like to say is there's a lot of drop downs in here. There's a lot of building out these parameters. How can we make this easier? Well, with that, I want to talk a little bit about quick lists. So what is a quick list? A quick list is a saved search. Okay, so you're saving the search that we just did. A quick list is not a saved group of contacts. That's a tag group. We're not going to really be covering tag groups. I will point out a saved group of contacts is a tag group, but a quick list is a saved search of parameters. So if you find yourself running the same search every single day, and maybe it's this search. Maybe I'm running something really similar with all these drop downs, and I'm running it every single day, and it's just taking so much time. It's so many clicks. My finger's about to fall off with the amount of clicks that I'm making with these searches. How can I make this easier? You want to save it as a quick list. Okay, so I highly suggest save it as a quick list, because what that does is it's going to save all this information. It's not going to save these two people down here. It's saving all of these people, all of this information up here. So I'm just going to hit rerun this. It's always best before you do something, just rerun it and then hit save. When you hit save, it's going to say, okay, you want to save the quick list. What do you want to name it? And I'm just going to name this, we'll say all active AAA and AA newsletter clients. Yes, I spelled everything correctly. I think I did for once. Yesterday in a presentation, I misspelled the word clients. It's okay. Fun fact, if we are presenting, anybody at Redtail is presenting, and we misspell something, that is your time to make fun of us as much as you can. I'm a horrible speller, so that's why I'm surprised. But you get to name this. You can name it whatever you want. If you just want to call it newsletter, that's definitely fine, because as long as you know what that means is it's your double and AAA clients. I just like to be specific. It's really up to you. But I'm going to hit save, and what that does is it automatically is going to save this information, so I don't have to choose those drop downs again. Let's use an example. We only had 2 people in here. Let's go to Phoebe, shall we?
Yeah, let's add Phoebe to this list. So again, remember we have to have an active client, either AAA or AA, and then a keyword of newsletter. So those parameters have to be met.
So right now, if we look at Phoebe's contact record, she's an active status with the category of AA. She's almost there. How do we add somebody to a quick list? They need to meet all of the parameters. Okay, so again, I can't say, Phoebe, you are now on this quick list, but I can change her information. So if I come down here to her keywords and I hit add, and then from this add button, I'm going to scroll down and find the newsletter keyword, check that and save it. Now she is part of that quick list because I know she meets all 3 criteria. Easiest way to run a quick list, in the top right hand corner, you're going to choose your recently viewed, and you can say I can click on quick lists right there. And now we're going to see where we got all active triple and AA newsletter clients. That's the one I just saved. If I click on that, it's going to rerun that search. We're going to see all those parameters again. If I scroll down, now I have 3 people. Okay, so I just built this list up because now Phoebe is getting the newsletter. Okay, so quick lists change as your data changes. She's no longer active, if she's no longer a double or AAA, she becomes single A. If she no longer wants the newsletter and I remove that keyword, this list is going to be the most accurate depending on the data in my CRM. Okay, so again, consistency in changing everything is going to be the best thing you can do to make sure that you have the best data and searches for your clients. Now, one thing on here itself that I do like is when you do run these searches, we have one right here just called birthdays. Okay, so if you save a birthday as a quick list, I would never suggest doing for every single month. I'm not going to save a quick list for January. I'm not going to save one for February, March, April, May. I'm just going to save one and call it birthdays. And you'll see here that this list is pulling all status of active, status of spouse of client, and status of child of client. They all have the value of January. So instead of creating 12 different quick lists, I just have one. It all starts with January. So if I need to now update this to October, I can come through and just change the drop downs. So that way I'm only making minimal changes here and then hit run and it reruns that search. Okay, so again, you can save a quick list and change the drop downs later just to minimize the amount of quick lists that you have. And that's going to bring, here's the 12 people who meet the criteria of this original quick list for January, now October. Now it's still saved as January. So every time I run it, it's going to be January. But if I want to, hey, I want this to always start as October, I could save and update. So the quick list is now based on those specific fields. That's really up to you. If maybe you pull the birthday quick list multiple times every month, make that a habit. Hey, it's October now. We're going to rerun this a few more times. I'm going to hit save and override those fields. It's up to you how you want to manage this, but quick lists really help manage the time when you're searching for your contacts.
And then one thing, I saw it pop in a couple of times, but I didn't have a chance to grab those questions, so I apologize. I don't remember who asked exactly, but quick lists are a database save. So it's not like if Curtis only created this quick list, I can't access it. If we're in the same database, I can see that quick list as well. So it's not user specific.
And if you happen to have permissions set up, and we're not going to dive into it, but permissions are, I could only view certain contacts. You can say that certain people are the only ones allowed to view certain contacts. Let's say that there was a quick list of active, like this quick list itself, and let's say Catherine can only see half the contacts in the database. I can only see half the contacts. We can both run the same quick list at the same time, and because of permissions, get different results. Because I'm only allowed to see certain contacts and she's only allowed to see certain contacts. It really is dependent on who are you allowed to see first and then search. So even though quick lists are saved amongst everybody in the database, it does not mean that they're going to see the same contacts as you if you're using permissions. If you don't use permissions, don't worry about anything I just said. Okay. All right. So if you have a smaller database, maybe a one advisor database, there's no permission of contacts. Don't worry about what I just said about getting different results. If you're not using permissions, the quick list should show exact for everybody across the board. But if you are using permissions, they might be different.
Yep.
All right. I really need to be specific about that because we don't want to get, the wrong information out there saying quick lists are all different for everybody. So now, Catherine, this is I love this part of the presentation that we added. Like I said, this is all based off of a suggestion from a user in a training I was doing who said, hey, show me some uncommon searches. What are the things that I'm not thinking of? And really we get that question a lot is when people want to have a training is, well, they say, I don't know what I don't know. It's a weird thing to say, but if I don't know to go look for it, maybe I don't know to start thinking in that way. So there's 5 different searches here, all in different colors that we want to talk about and give you a little more information. So I'm going to start at the top and then we'll go back and forth from there. So up at the top, this is showing status equal to client, most active 1, but head of household equal to true. What is this search actually showing? So because every single contact record has its own, or every single person has its own contact record and you link them together as family, we understand that some offices prefer to manage things on the household level and some prefer to do it on the individual level. If you prefer to do it on the household level, I'm only dealing with one person from each family at any given time. Mostly that is the head of household contact record. I deal with them. Then I suggest adding this layer into your searching. So family, head of household equal to true. That means it's only going to pull up one contact record per family. So back in the database, I'm going to hit advanced search, refresh this page. We'll start with contact status again. We're going to start high level. And then I'm going to say equal to active client. Now, actually, real fast, I want to point out, I'm going to run just this one layer. It's going to show all active clients in the database. There is actually a way where you can see who is the head of household for these individual contacts. You're going to see on the right-hand side, there's this little house icon. That means that person is the head of household, but I have all these people who aren't heads of households. If I want to remove them from this list, like maybe I'm sending a broadcast email or a letter, I don't want to send 2 different letters to the same household. I'm dealing with it in bulk. On the top, I can hit and then I'm going to say family is going to be the type. The field is going to be head of household. And then I'm going to say equal to, so family, head of household, equal to true. And this is going to take it down from 98 people and narrow it down to just those marked as the head of household. So anything I do in bulk is I'm only dealing with those contacts. So we got 38 people. And so this is really saying I have 38 household accounts. I have 98 active clients, but I have 38 active household accounts. All right, so that's one uncommon search that I highly suggest if you deal with householding. Catherine, why don't you tell us about the purple one?
Yeah, and actually that's a perfect segue into this next concept because it also has to deal along those lines of family. So this time though, instead of starting with the status, we are going to that highest tier, that type. So we have contact type equal to individual. And our second layer here is that family name is empty. So what this one actually is it's searching for anyone who doesn't belong to a family, and it should. That sounded really depressing when I said that there. They belong to a family. They should have that family. So this usually comes about when it comes to more of like a cleanup. I actually did work with an office recently who they didn't have any family set up at all. And I died a little inside. I'm like, oh my God, what? But what they were able to do is do this family name is empty to see if we have any of those contacts that we need to clean up, get them so that they do belong with those families. Because you're right, maybe out there we have spouses that exist out there, but they're not connected, or children that are out there that aren't connected, or literally everyone is not connected. But again, this is that search. It's starting with that highest tier of type and narrowing it down so we're getting anyone who's an individual person, because that's the ones we're looking for a family, and then finding anyone with an is empty field this time to, again, see anyone who's missing that particular field. Now, one thing that we want to point out here is when you use an operand of is empty, the value field should not be filled out. That is the complete sentence on its own. Family name is empty. So I know sometimes we sit there and go, what is this a trick question? What am I supposed to put here? Absolutely nothing, actually. But again, this is giving you that list of everyone we now need to go in and actually see if we need to clean up.
This is also a great example is create the search, save it as a quick list, and maybe like create yourself a repeating activity. Every 3 months, I'm going to run this quick list, and then I'm going to check, oh, I need to add these people to the appropriate family. It's up to you. And again, this is just for looking at ways of where people should be connected to families and they aren't. I think Catherine mentioned, we suggest that every individual person, whether you're by yourself or not, should be part of a family, even if that family is a family of one. That just makes it so you can run that search of family head of household equal to true and bring up all the head of households and the individual people. It's helped building up your database. So you can see how those two uncommon searches can actually help one give more power to the other. This search of family name is empty is going to show who I need to attach to families, so that way my first uncommon search is more accurate. So over to the right-hand side in green, let's talk about inactive clients. Okay, so inactive clients, maybe I still want to search on that information, but there is a field under contact details called client termination date. And you can use that field to also run searches. Now, most likely, and it should be, if you fill out client termination date, they should probably not be marked with the status of active client anymore. So in this case, I'm looking at contact status equal to inactive client and the contact client termination date greater than or equal to January 1st, 2020. What is this telling me? This is going to show me every single client who left this year. So if I want to track who went out the door, who's no longer a client as of this year, let me see it. So in that case, let's go back to the CRM. And so up at the top, I'm going to actually refresh this page again. We're going to start with contact status. Again, order of searchable fields. Our suggestion is start high level. So it's going to be contact status is going to be equal to, this time is going to be inactive. Okay, so we're going to focus on the inactive clients. I'm going to hit and. All of these uncommon searches are using and, just so you know. Now we're going to do contact, and then the field is going to be client termination date. So right here, this one we get to use greater than or equal to. Okay, so greater than or equal to is great because I actually get to choose a specific date from the value field right here. So I'm actually going to choose January 1st, 2020 and hit run. And let's see, nobody. Perfect. We didn't lose anybody this year. Let's see if I can go back another year. So you can see I can just keep going back and see, okay, how many clients are coming in versus going out. It looks like, Catherine, we have not lost a single client. And that's fine because, yep. we're
ours is always a test database. So
we haven't lost a fake client.
We haven't. That's a good thing. But definitely what Curtis is saying here, though, is that you want to make sure that both fields are actually updated. I've seen this happen far too many times where we'll update the inactive field, but forget about actually filling in the client termination date. So make sure you utilize both of those fields to your advantage.
Exactly. All right, let's, Catherine, take us, what's the red one say?
So this one here, it's again kind of similar in a way, but we have back to that contact status equal to active client. But this time it's actually more positive. We have a client since year. So if again we have maybe like an acknowledgement for client loyalty, I want to send an email or physical letter, just something that says, hey, you've been my client for 5 years. Yay, something along those lines. You can run a search here that is exactly what you're looking for. Contact client since year equal to, and then the year you're looking for. So if we wanted to find everyone who's celebrating maybe a 1 year even, a 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, whatever you want to do. But again, we're going to fill it out. So it's a contact status. We're always starting with that highest tier equal to, and we'll have our active clients. We'll click our and again, but this time we're going to do contacts, client since year for our field. Give it a second to load here. There we go.
Client since year. And also you'll see there's client since month or client or just client since. So if you want to do the range, how we did client termination date, you can say greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. I like the year, like Catherine said, is if you want to specifically narrow down to 5 years, 10 years, 1 year, you can put, so if I just put 2019 in here, like Catherine was running, this isn't the 1 year. Who do we have? We have 5 people who became clients in 2019. Let's celebrate them. Do we have anybody? We can go back. What's 5 years from now? Was that
2015.
2015. Oh my goodness. Yes, I know math.
We CRM really great, guys.
CRM good. We don't math good. Here's 2 people, 2 active clients who became clients 2015. In 2020, we're saying congratulations, you've been a client for 5 years. It's up to you how you want to deal with that. I love that you pointed this out for us, Catherine, because we want to celebrate our clients as best as we can, and this is one of the ways we can do so. This is the inverse of that inactive termination, because if I need to see what's my return on investment versus like who's coming in versus who's going out, you know, maybe it's consistently, I have 5 clients leave and I add 5 clients every year and I'm consistently maintaining. Sure, I'm good with that. But you get to track information, and searching gives you those tools to be able to find, and it's like data mining. I mean, that's what searching is data mining. It's kind of a scary thing. Like, I mean, I have my cell phone. I talked about Super Nintendo yesterday. Then all of a sudden I was getting Super Nintendo ads. Like, that kind of data mining is not this, okay? You know, or things like that. This is, you're using the data that you own to search for it, okay? Now let's talk about this last one in yellow on the right-hand side. This one, active clients, again, contact status equal to active, and their retirement date. So maybe I want to celebrate their retirement date, like who's retiring this year. Now, retirement is actually a field in occupation. So if we actually, let's go to one of our recently viewed contacts here. We're gonna go back to Phoebe. And if she was planning to retire from the music industry, or I believe she's a masseuse, songwriter, musician. She's been working hard in New York and she's ready to retire. Well, over in Know Your Client on the left-hand side, you can go there and there's a section where we got, it's under professional. So we already have professional contacts, but employments, I can actually add an employment and choose a retirement date. And that retirement date is going to be searchable as well. So if I want to see anybody who has a retirement date coming up, or again, just fill it out if you want here, but we're going to go to contacts on the left-hand side. Okay, then if it's not, again, on advanced search, make sure you click that. I'm going to start high level of contact status. And this will be contact status equal to active client, and then the type, which tells us where we're looking at in the database, is going to be employment. Employment, and then we can choose retirement date. Okay, and that's when we can do equal to like a specific time. So you'll see we have retirement date, retirement month, or retirement year. If we do retirement year, we can say equal to 2020. Put that in. This is going to say, do we have any clients retiring this year? No, we don't. You know, easy enough. But putting in the data gives you the ability to run those searches exactly how you need.
Thanks so much for joining us today for this particular session. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call at 800 206-5030, option 3 for support, or just shoot us an email over to support@redtailtechnology.com. Thanks a lot and have a great day.